The Super Mario Bros. Movie tells the tale of two brothers who find themselves transported from Brooklyn, New York to the Mushroom Kingdom. When the older brother Mario learns his younger brother Luigi has landed in the Dark Lands, he sets out on a journey through this new world to save him. This blockbuster movie has become the newest focal point in the culture war, and no one can seem to agree on whether this movie is woke or anti-woke. All over the internet, people are buzzing, breaking down how this movie adheres to wokeness or is taking a stand against it. But how could so many people have such opposing views on what this film represents? The real answer is this movie is neither woke nor anti-woke. It is a kids' movie that is not making an explicit political statement. Now, you can argue the political climate will affect any story being written, and that is definitely true. No matter what kind of story is being written, the writer will ultimately be influenced by the society in which they are living. However, people have been taking this film's lack of overt political messaging as a political message in itself. This is perhaps telling of the landscape of contemporary entertainment. By now, you've probably seen something made by Disney in the past few years, or other high-budget offerings like Rings of Power, which are known to take established IPs and then use them to both shove their political ideologies down your throat with all the subtlety of a Hammer Bro from World 8.3, and use those same ideologies as a shield against criticism of the poor quality of the finished projects. This is because those who are in favor of woke politics require everything to conform to the message. All media must portray all their political ideas in a positive light and demonize all else without exception. And some of those who are anti-woke have internalized this same idea. To these groups of people, if Mario was not race-swapped, and Peach did not ultimately save him and drive every plot point while taking every opportunity to talk about how useless Mario's straight white half-brother Luigi is, for getting himself kidnapped and rendering him emasculated at every turn, all the while the Koopas espouse the evils of capitalism under Bowser and defect to live with the Toads in the socialist Mushroom Land, this movie could not be considered woke. So because this movie avoids long-winded, pointless moralizing scenes like Canto Bight from Star Wars The Last Jedi, did not treat Princess Peach entirely like Captain Marvel, and does not change or add characters simply to hit diversity checkboxes, to those who've been conditioned to expect this kind of thing from their entertainment, this movie has the appearance of being anti-woke, or anti-social justice. However, there is another group of those on the anti-woke side who have decided if the film does not take a hard line against wokeness that it is tacitly endorsing those ideas. One criticism is that Peach is great at everything while Mario struggles. Because of what we've seen in modern cinema, some see a dynamic like this and immediately think the woman is the stereotypical girl boss character. But in contrast to that girl boss archetype, throughout the film she shows care, concern, and even admiration toward her male counterpart. And while I will admit Peach's characterization is slightly different from the games, and flirted just a bit with girl boss territory, these things are largely contextualized in the story. For example, Toads are able to navigate the Mushroom Kingdom, and as is suggested in the film, humans have much greater athletic abilities than Toads. So Peach, who spent her entire life in the Mushroom Kingdom, would naturally be skilled at traversing the land and making use of the various items within it. Likewise, Mario was a plumber in Brooklyn. This is his first day in a completely new world full of unfamiliar and fantastic elements. It stands to reason he would not be as skilled in navigating this world as someone who has lived there for her whole life. Expecting otherwise would be the same as expecting Peter Parker to grow a Spider-Man costume and then swan dive his way out of the laboratory immediately upon being bitten by that spider. And yet, despite his inexperience, Mario, through his persistence, perhaps not coincidentally what we as players need to be successful in the Mario games, achieves things no one else is able to. Some who accuse this movie of being woke say that Mario added nothing, and Peach could have done everything herself. Some of those critics say there was no reason for Mario to go with her to see the Kongs, as she would have succeeded there without his help. However, the movie makes it clear Cranky Kong really does not want to help the Mushroom Kingdom, and agrees to lend his army only if someone could defeat his son Donkey Kong in combat, something which he thinks is exceedingly unlikely, if not impossible. When Mario says he will fight, Peach is visibly afraid and warns him not to. If she believed Mario could not do it but she could, she would have offered to do it herself, but does not. Mario is able to win, achieving something Peach did not and most likely would not have even attempted. Only Mario, through persisting against stacked odds and battling his way through this painful fight, is able to reach the goal. To put this into perspective, Peach has been the sole protector of the Toads for all these years, and yet Mario, after he has only been there for a few days, is able to achieve things that she would not have been able to, due to his sheer willpower and refusal to give up, his main strengths. Mario is not meant to be a superhero, but a normal guy who works hard to do the right thing, which helps him to eventually achieve great things. And that comes through in this movie when he and his brother work together to save the kingdom and Brooklyn when everyone else, including Peach, has failed. The writers of this movie no doubt have political leanings one way or another, but crucially, the story came before making a political statement, something which is so unusual in blockbuster entertainment at this time that people no longer know what to make of it. Perhaps this is the best thing the Super Mario Bros. Movie could have achieved, being good, clean fun while highlighting just how far the rest of fictional media has strayed from their original purpose of providing inspiring and entertaining stories. It really says a lot about where we are as a society that a simple, uplifting story, and don't get me wrong, the story is very simple, about brotherly love and overcoming adversity through perseverance is seen to represent such a wide variety of political views and opinions. But maybe that uplifting story is meant to be just that, an uplifting story. And if the box office returns are anything to go by, this is something that people, whether they recognize it or not, have been craving. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is not a perfect movie, but I for one hope we get more movies like it, because inspiring stories are important for a healthy culture. Which incidentally is the point of this channel. Welcome. I'll go into that in greater detail in future videos. Thanks for watching.